The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good Friday morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN, 9:06 a.m., 24 minutes to go until the start of trading. And you got a mixed market right now. We got an S&P's flat, we'll call it, 65.91. You hit 6,600 on the dot yesterday. Markets accelerating higher yesterday, and we're holding on to that price point right now this morning. You have the NASDAQ 100. We just got above yesterday's highs. We're up by 28 points, 24,046. Dow slightly in the red, off by about 0.2%, off 75 points, 46,066 right now. And you jump over to the Russell, negative by about 0.3% right now. The Russell off 7 points at 24.15. We jump to notes, bonds, dollar, gold, all of it. Yeah, how about giving back the action of yesterday? So you're talking about a 10-year right now that's down 11 ticks. That pushes the yield back to 4.06. We were flirting with a 3-handle on the 10-year yesterday, okay? We're at 4.06, just like that. So you get a little bit of higher yield, which gives the dollar a little bounce at 97.76. So you got higher yields, you got dollar strength, but gold's hanging on, right? Normally that would go with gold weakness, right? If the dollar's stronger, gold would pull back. No, gold pushing the highs of 36.86 this morning. You jump over to silver right now, up to 43.04, up 33 pennies for silver. Jump over to copper, up to 470. You jump over to crude, some of the commodities. How about that acceleration? Crude from 61.75 early this morning to 63.75, and you back off a bit. All right. We jump around to some of the action this morning. So, Warner Brothers Discovery, you're going to be up another almost 10%, okay? Paramount Skydance coming after them. They're higher as well, up another 50 pennies to 17.93. And what's remarkable is you pull up, yeah, CNBC, they love the clickbait, but how about everywhere, man? And I would agree. David Ellison, I mean, that UFC deal was like, whoa, they got a plan, man. And yeah, they got a bigger plan than he even envisioned. Wasted no time putting his stamp on Paramount? I would say so. Preparing a bid for Warner Brothers Discovery. We'll see what that bid comes in at, but you got Warner Brothers pushing about $40 billion right now, and that's going to go higher. As Paramount Skydance right now, you're talking about a company that's valued at $19.6 billion. They bought it for $7 billion, folks. It's already at $20 billion, right? You talk about dealing, wheeling and dealing. And Warner Brothers Discovery right now is a $43 billion company. So you got the $20 billion company going after the $43 billion company. But context is important, and the context is that the $20 billion company is run by the son of the richest man in the world, who owns 41% of Oracle. Jump over to Oracle. Down about $1 this morning. We jump over to some of the chip stocks. NVIDIA holding steady at 177 this morning. We jump over to Apple shares. Slightly red in the pre-market for Apple. Amazon shares slightly in the green to 231. Not sure what just happened there, but they just got a little bit of a lift. Look at that acceleration in the last few minutes. All right, Amazon. A little bit of buy-in coming into the pre-market right now. Microsoft shares accelerating higher last night. And yeah, so you're getting from them, whether it's antitrust, OpenAI, there's so many headlines on this one, man. Let's see. So you have OpenAI is going to be splitting it to the non-profit, okay? And this has been getting a lot of attention lately, rightfully so. And here's that. So you have OpenAI realignment. It's going to give the nonprofit a $100 billion stake. And this is as they convert into a more traditional for-profit company. And this is in negotiation with Microsoft, okay, outlining the terms of at least $100 billion in equity for its nonprofit arm. And that's going to give existing OpenAI nonprofit control over the new public benefit corporation. I mean, quite a complex setup. They started as a nonprofit. They're going to remain one today. They're going to continue to be one. And the nonprofit's going to hold the authority that guides the future. Folks, if you think that a nonprofit, okay, this is being driven by profits. The nonprofit equity stake is going to be $100 billion in the new corporation. That's a floor that could increase. That stake would give the company a roughly 20% share of OpenAI. Whew. If it closes a deal to let employees sell those shares at $500 billion, so they would get a 20%. The nonprofit would get 20%. They get $100 billion, and the value of the company would be at $500 billion. Whew. And yeah, that's the pop on Microsoft. You talk about complexities, but it seems like they're going to get it done. You have Microsoft shares reacting this morning or last night, and you're up to 507 from 501. You hit 514. We jump over to Google shares this morning. A little volatility for Google as well, up about $1.79 to $241.79 in the pre-market. Let's jump around to some of the home builders. You got a little bit of a reversal on yields. These things were powering higher yesterday. We got the 10-year, as I mentioned, 4.06. Lennar right where we closed yesterday, about 140 right now. D.R. Horton holding at about 180 as well. All right, let's talk a little gold. So gold holding up so well right now at $14. And yeah, we got a great question from our man Double Broad in the den, saying, what do you do with free shares, right? When you get a run like this, it's a great question, okay? And on this one, we're talking about new gold, okay? And the question is, we have free shares in new gold, bought a while ago, whittling it down to the point that now we have free shares, okay? And what do you do with free shares of a company like this that's just traded past a 1 to 1.618 expansion? You've gone from $1 last year to almost $7. You take a look at the monthly going back, okay? And you know, I guess what's your plan, Double Rod? You want to let this thing run for 5 or 10 years or not, right? Because in the short term, folks, okay, we're going to have some volatility, man. We got gold, you know, pushing 3,800. You just had the dollar trade from 110 to 97, right? There are bigger moves possible. Look at the move we had in 2001 from 121 to 70, right? You talk about a move. So there are bigger moves that are possible. 90 is probably the next stop out here in the dollar. So, you know, the cool part about free shares is you don't have to worry about them ever. You can set it, forget it, if you really have a longer term approach. The tough part about setting it, forget it with these gold equities, though, is, boy, the cyclical nature. We'll finish it up when we get back, folks. Stay tuned. If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people. They think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and technique to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This portion of the Morning Market Kickoff is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Welcome back, folks. So finish up the conversation because this is something we all deal with, right? You know, you catch a stock, you have quite a run, and maybe you make the prudent decision, right? You take some off the table, you lock in some profits, you get some shares, whether they're free or they're almost free on a run like this from $1 to $7 over 2 years. There's a lot of pockets like this in the market, though, right? There's a lot of equities that have run like this in the market, whether you're talking about the NVIDIAs over a few years, Microsoft, Apple. It doesn't matter what you're picking almost in this market as we're pushing 6,600. Where things go a little different on the golds, okay, double broad, and this is where my mind goes on these gold equities. You look at something like even an Oracle, even a Paramount Skydance, right? Huge mean volatility. But I'm not as worried if you get some free shares on a company, even like Paramount Skydance, which is totally volatile, almost a meme equity, okay? But in the longer run, I'm pretty confident that they're going to materialize to something. The richest man in the world and his son, they got a plan for that streaming platform, and it seems like they're executing on all levels right now. Doesn't mean that you can't let this ride a little bit further, right? But you should probably pick a point because you can't set it and forget it. I wouldn't set it and forget it on these equities, okay? Because you can pick so many of the equities that they just crash eventually, right? They get over their skis. Gold is trading higher. They buy assets at levels that are too expensive for some of them. It doesn't happen with every equity, okay? So that's, you got an equity, you think they got, you know, a gold mine, to put it lightly, right? Then that's one thing. But, you know, look at Harmony. Harmony is a great stock, okay? I mean, for those old school TFNN listeners, do you remember the days of Ferdy Depenier, who was the CEO, I believe, of Harmony at one point? Maybe he was just in charge of marketing. Great guy, Ferdy. Let's see what he's up to these days. But he was in Harmony, and then he was involved in another company after the fact. But look at the cyclical nature of these equities, right? You're talking about from 2011, you just got break even. You just got break even on Harmony. There's many equities. There's New Gold, right? You look at the run this thing had. You were up to $12 back there. So don't think at $6 you can set it and forget it. And yeah, there's a lot of, listen, the tough part about this double broad is I think the dollar's going lower. Okay? I think the dollar's probably on its way to 90 right now. So is there a lot of risk holding it? Well, you just went from $1 to $7, so there's risk. When you hold an equity that just went from $1 to $7, okay? The gold market ain't fools either. The gold market knows that rate cuts are under pressure. The gold market knows the dollar's under pressure, right? Some of those equities. But boy, it's almost like just so many of those equities, right? And Duffy, I agree. And that's kind of what I'm saying. That you get some free shares on an equity that's a growth equity that you're going to take some volatility in the short term, but in 5 years they're going to transform those short-term losses into longer-term growth. I love the idea of not even worrying about it, right? I'm buying shares for Tommy right now and some equities if I can. Set it, forget it. 50, 60 years from right now in retirement, okay? I wouldn't do that with a gold equity, though. So that's kind of the mentality that you look at in something like that. And just go through, folks, if you haven't. Go through, sign up for the Gold Report, folks. We've got new issues every week, so you can check out the archives this weekend. There'll be a new issue out on Monday. And just go through those equities, the 25 or so equities I have in the Gold Report. I put charts in there as well. But just go through those equities and take a look. Put them on a monthly chart. And no matter how good the equity is, okay, just these equities, folks, my dad would say the metal, you can buy and hold the metal, right? If you had free shares of the metal, I'd say, yeah, man, put those Krugerrands in your closet, lock them up, and they'll be fine, right? But these equities, it's just history. It may not repeat, but it often rhymes. And in the gold equity business, folks, whew, and then you look at the XAU, the HUI, right? You're extending beyond the 1 to 1.618 expansion line right now. All right, both XAU, HUI to the same degree. HUI hasn't even made it to the highs of 2011 yet. HUI hasn't even made it to the highs, right? Can you imagine? Getting free shares of the HUI back here in 2011? Just one of those examples to run through your head. And listen, there are winners and losers in this market, though. Okay, you find the gem. Yeah, but boy, you look at the XAU, you look at the HUI. This is not a situation of isolated mining equities, right? It's not a situation of isolated. It's a situation where the miners in general are cyclical, folks, okay? And so be careful of that one. But great question. And it applies to so much because the market is at such highs right now, folks, okay? I mean, it doesn't take a lot to have free Microsoft shares when you just traded from 220 less than 3 years ago to 555, right? You can almost pick anything in this market, man. Apple shares, a double bagger from where we were in 2022. Everything's up 100% from where we were at the lows of 2022. I say everything. You cherry pick the biggest equities out there, right? Google shares, just straight from 86 to 240. So there are free shares in this market if you want them everywhere. But I'd be a lot more comfortable, even at these multiples, okay, of doing a deal like that. Even Oracle, folks, okay? Even Oracle. You're up to 345. You just gave up $40 off the highs, right? But cloud's going to be just fine. As in the future, folks, you have the next 3 to 5 years are going to be massive volatility. Massive. Okay, they got to figure out how to make money, right? They got to figure out how to make money with all this money that they're spending to build out server farms that are going to take up as much energy as states, let alone cities. They're going to take up as much energy as states, countries, right? All right. Let's check out some of the banks this morning. You got yields rising a bit. JP Morgan shopping around. I mean, it doesn't matter where you go, right? JP Morgan, from 135 to 305. Another example of a company that say, take your free shares. JP Morgan, Now, what's going to happen to that company when Mr. Diamond's not there? That is one risk in JP Morgan, folks. And I'm not saying that whoever's next is not capable, but he is a special man. And he's not Elon Musk kind of special to that equity, but he's pretty close. You think about publicly traded companies right now. You think about CEOs that are integral to that company. And Jamie Dimon at JP Morgan is one of them for sure. He's been at the helm forever, and you just ran from 100 to 300, folks, over the period of less than 3 years. Whew. 200% gain in a bank. Not bad. All right, folks, we're coming back for the open. We got the S&Ps flat right now. How about that crude market, right? Crude. Sometimes it's not that difficult, folks. You run up. Where do you stop? What do we get to? 63.98. Within 10 pennies of the high of Wednesday. And we're trading lower yet again. Crude with some volatility, man. 63.21. All right, folks, we're coming back for the opening bell. We got Friday action. You got gold right now. Up $13, and that's even with some dollar strength, a little bit of higher yields. Dollar at 97.76. Stay tuned, folks. We'll come right back.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstad releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. You got markets open. S&P's negative by 3 to kick things off. NASDAQ 100 in the green. Power in this market higher right now. NASDAQ 100 up by 38 points, 24,062. You got the Dow off 120 right now, 46,027. Let's jump around to some Dow stocks. Home Depot off by 0.8%, off $4. Goldman Sachs right now, barely in the red. You jump over to UNH, one of the other high-priced equities, up only 0.3%. Let's jump around. Is this going to give us the numbers? Yeah, sometimes that market watch takes a second to refresh. Now, we jump over to crude, excuse me. Check out the volatility and sanctions in play right now. Trump says losing patience with Putin, eyeing bank and oil sanctions. You talk about a little volatility. It'll be hitting very hard on with the sanctions onto banks and having to do with oil and tariffs also, Trump said in a wide-ranging interview on Fox News. Yeah, says losing his patience. Well, he better be. I thought the war was going to be over in 30 days, right? Not how Putin is operating. Threatened Moscow with new economic sanctions. And, of course, you have the drones going over in Poland with NATO. Not a good sign for escalation. The U.S. is expected to urge allies in the Group of Seven to impose tariffs as high as 100% on China and India for their purchases of Russian oil. At a meeting of finance ministers going on today, the U.S. is also going to tell the G7 countries they should create a legal pathway to seize immobilize sovereign Russian assets and consider seizing or using the principal of those assets to fund Ukraine's defense. So tensions ratcheting up. You're seeing that play out in the oil market. And talking a little bit more, Paramount, Warner Brothers Discovery. So here's, sometimes I always say, folks, right? Listen to yourself a little bit, right? There are always anecdotal experiences, okay? Always be aware that you may not know more than the market. I'm jumping over to the old one, Paramount Skydance. So they get back some of the gains. You're down by 3%. Paramount, Warner Brothers Discovery holding on to more gains, up by 6.8% right now. And, Paramount in particular, right? One of the brands that Tommy loves right now is Sonic the Hedgehog. You got Sonic. You had Sonic 3 out there. Movie, folks. I mean, these Sonic movies. You have, of course, Jim Carrey, who carries the franchise. Quite a generational actor, of course. And I say carries the franchise as in he's the big star of those movies, okay? And, it's amazing. If you ever look at the pay of those movies, okay, go check out the salaries of whether it's Jim Carrey, whether it's the stars of it, and then whether it's the people who are voicing the characters, like Sonic itself. Yeah, Jim Carrey, rightfully so. He carries it. But you think about it, okay? Paramount by itself, you're talking about Sonic, okay? They're going to have a Call of Duty theatrical film. Street Fighter film is what they're going to have. But just Sonic alone, he bought Paramount for $7 billion. Those movies aren't ending, folks, okay? Keanu Reeves was the voice of Shadow in the most recent one. I think you had Idris Elba in there as Knuckles as well. Those movies are going to keep going. Kids love them, okay? Just even that alone. But then you went into it. They have Nickelodeon, okay, which encompasses so much. You got Paw Patrol in there, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, SpongeBob SquarePants, Transformers, Star Trek. That's already just what's in Paramount. This isn't talking about Warner Brothers. Okay, just $7.7 billion got all of that. Now they ink the deal with UFC, and listen, we own Paramount Skydance in Market Insights, folks. Okay, it happens. But this is part of the reason that we own it. And yeah, the impetus for live sports, folks. And this is why I say, so great example, right? Trust yourself a little bit when you go through your own actions. I just signed up for that new ESPN service. Jump over to Disney shares. Disney right now at 116. This thing's been on a heck of a run from the April lows of 80. You are bumping up against some resistance right now. And that resistance goes from where we've been since 2022. But if you've been watching the show long enough, you know we go back further than that, man. We're bumping into resistance all the way from 10 years ago, August of 2015, right? We hit a high of 122.08. That's the new area that we've been challenging for highs recently. The highs of 2024 at about 123. But yeah, I signed up on Monday night, okay, 6 days ago. I upgraded from Disney Plus to the new ESPN bundle that gets me everything. Why did I do it, folks? Because I wanted to watch the Bears play on Monday Night Football. Yeah, I wanted to watch the Monday Night Football. And guess what? I didn't care about it tomorrow, right? I didn't care about watching it on Tuesday. Didn't care about watching the replay. I only wanted to watch Monday Night Football live. And they got me to sign up. So I'm not going to be the only one, okay? The live sports attraction. And here's the thing. I signed up, and I'm just going to cancel it when I'm not watching it, right? But the impetus to get somebody to put their credit card down, sign up for it, there's nothing like live sports, man. There really isn't. And you're going to see it play out. And you're going to see it play out in the UFC. Okay, and that was the segue there. And they're going to get into more than that, folks. Okay, they have CBS with Paramount Plus, with Warner Brothers, with Discovery, with HBO. It's going to be quite a juggernaut. You put these combinations of the companies together, okay? You got Warner Brothers at about $40 billion right now. You got Paramount at $20 billion. Things may go up from there. We'll see what they offer Warner Brothers when those details come out. But you compare that to a Netflix, and listen, Paramount Warner Brothers is not going to be a Netflix overnight. Okay, and they may not reach a Warner Brothers, a Netflix level. But folks, you're talking about Netflix right now is $512 billion. So they would be 10 times the value of the company of Paramount, Skydance, Warner Brothers, Discovery almost. Okay? So when you think about it, you think Ellison's going to be okay with that company being 1/10 the size of Netflix? That's not what they're going for, folks. And they don't have to be the competitor to have some real opportunity for growth there. That's one that I really like that. Maybe set it and forget it. Jump around to some of the tech stocks right now. Amazon down about 0.2% right now. Tesla catching a little bit of a lift, up by 2.2% right now. Jump over to Bitcoin. We hit 116 yesterday, 116,820. We're off a bit, 115,220. We keep our eye on yields. The 10-year, yeah, about 4.06 right now. Dollar holding up well at 97.78. And the gold contract up by $14. Markets dip into the red. S&P's off by 6, NASDAQ off by 10. Come right back, folks.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day, Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. We got the S&Ps right now negative by 3. NASDAQ barely in the green. Dow off by 70 points right now. You got crude jumping around with some volatility on potential sanctions, or would it be, with Russia. You have the G7 finance ministers. They're meeting. We'll see if they talk about anything. But yeah, you got crude trading at 63.33 right now. And we jump over to the 10-year. You got the 10-year right now. Yeah, down about 13 ticks. We're at 113.08. You're probably sitting with a 10-year about 4.07 right now. You got lower price, higher yields. And with some higher yield, you got dollar strength and gold holding up relatively well, up $15 even with that dollar strength. And let's talk a little bit of yields. So first, I mean, they tie together here. So Morgan Stanley, okay, expects the Fed to cut interest rates at 4 consecutive meetings through January. Now, this is right where the market basically is. We've been talking about it, okay? They are looking for now cut. That's what they're looking for, okay? They're looking for cut. Yeah, that's the number. Whew. And most, now this is, you know, it's really close where we go after December. You start going out there further, okay, and it gets difficult to forecast so far in the future. Market pricing shows that most investors expect the Fed to pause after December. So what they're saying is the market's pricing in cut, and then maybe a pause, right? Well, we've been going over these numbers, okay? Right now, the meeting coming up in 5 days, the market's pretty sure it's going to be a 25 basis point cut, 92.4%. You go out to December, and yeah, there's cut. Okay? 73.5% chance that we're going cut. Now, we get a lot of data points, okay? We get 3 CPI numbers, 3 more CPI numbers by the time we get to December, folks. The CPI just came in at 2.9%. Before the December 10th meeting, or actually on it, right? Because one of the CPIs, we get the November CPI on December 10th. But you're going to get September CPI, you're going to get October CPI, and you're going to get November CPI all before that December 10th meeting. Now, that would bring us to a range of 3.5 to 3.75. You go out to January, and that's what they're saying. The market's still there, okay? But it's not quite there, okay? This article says, and they do it disjustice, most investors expect the Fed to pause after December. Well, not that much, folks. Where did I just drop that one? Here we go. Not that much, right? I mean, I guess they expect a pause, but really the market's saying we're going 3 to 4 cuts by January, okay? You go out to March, and we're at 4 cuts, and maybe even 5. So there is a tremendous amount of cuts priced into this market, right? Softer inflation, weakening labor market give the Fed room to move more quickly toward a neutral policy stance. This is what they're talking about, Morgan Stanley, beyond January. The economists predict the Fed will pause, okay? Previously, Morgan Stanley had been forecasting the Fed to deliver 25 basis point cuts each quarter from this month through December, taking rates to below 3%. And yeah, they're arguing against a 50 basis point cut. But guess what? Faster pace of Fed cuts through early 2026. And yeah, 4 consecutive meetings. It's not an outlandish call, folks. Okay, the market's pricing in cut, and they're making the bold statement that of the 50-50 probability that's coming down the line in January, they're going to another cut. And that's what they say. Now, if you're in this real estate market right now, okay, there's 2 avenues to get in here. Rates are under pressure right now, okay? Rates are under pressure, period. You're going to have people coming back in the market, and there's going to be a lift in this market when you talk about mortgage rates, okay? Now, anything can change. I just told you, we got 3 CPI prints before that December meeting, okay? But I'll tell you, right now, folks, so I have a house up for sale, and it's a beautiful house, okay? And it's just one that I want to unload at this time. $675,000 is the price. Folks, you're looking for a beautiful property in St. Petersburg, Florida, send me an email, tommy@tfnn.com. And we just put this on the market yesterday. Now, what's amazing is this house, okay? Al Capone was chilling around St. Pete in the roaring 20s. And he may have even owned this one. Okay, that's the lore. Okay, don't buy it because of that, because it may not be fact. But that's the lore. He was around this Lake Major area of St. Petersburg. Beautiful area in St. Petersburg. And this house, folks, 1927. Okay, beautiful house. Look at this beautiful blue home here. Okay, hardwood throughout. You got a beautiful fireplace. All right, this lot, I think it's like 11,000 square feet. I better get it upside down in my own head. But look at this beautiful kitchen recently redone. Okay, this is a 1927 home. All beautiful, hardwood, everything, top of the line, move-in ready. Okay, you check out this beautiful backyard we have here. And listen, yeah, this is a promo for a property I have up for sale. Look at this beautiful backyard. Nice, beautiful, big, fenced-in backyard. You can do whatever you want back here. You can end up putting a pool back there if you wanted. You could put whatever you want, okay? Now, to give you a little insight here, okay, I'm going to market, and I'm not going to budge at all on this price. It's a good price, okay? I'm going to look to move it out. We're still building. I'm still building. Folks, I got two different. I got a build that's about finished in about 30 to 45 days that'll be going up in St. Pete. I got another property that'll be ready in about 3 months from there, and we're starting 2 other brand new builds in St. Pete. Okay, so if you're in the market, please, Tiger Construction. We're going to talk to Bestford Behewley as well. He's a part of Tiger Real Estate still. Everything goes forward. So to give you my mentality, right? So I'm putting this up for sale, $675,000, folks. It's a 4.3 with a beautiful office, okay? Everything updated, and it just got a brand new roof, okay? Just got a brand new roof like 30 days ago. New roofs are important, folks, okay? And to give you a glimpse of if you're in the real estate market right now, you want the place to be perfect. You really do. Okay, even right now, everything is so expensive. The last thing you want is to lock somebody into a mortgage at 6%. If they're lucky to get that, they're probably getting 6.4 right now. And then they got to spend money on top of it, right? So I encourage you, if you're moving a property out, if you can, spend the money. If it needs a new roof, put that roof on it. If it needs, in this property to turn it over, I went and, the whole inside got painted. The patio out back got a new staining, a new painting, new roof, of course. You really fine-tune those details. And what's going on is, though, I'm not going to budge, man. Okay, yeah, they don't want to come in there because what's going to happen is people are going to want to get ahead of interest rates going down. Imagine you're looking to buy a house right now, right? And this is what I'm going to say to prospective buyers, folks, okay? And this property, 2230 Trelane Drive South in St. Petersburg. If you're looking at St. Petersburg, folks, it's right down here by Lake Major, South St. Pete, okay? And, what I'm going to say to them, though, is I'm going to say, hey, you don't want to buy it at this price? No problem. There's a new chairman in the Fed coming in May. I don't know if you know that. Rates are coming down. Do you want to compete with everybody to buy a house when rates come down to 5.5, or you want to buy it right now? We're coming back, folks. S&P's off by 2. We'll come right back.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. We got a little bit of chop on the open, but all things considered, right? You're talking about a range of 4 or 5 points. S&P is negative by 2 right now. Little action in the NASDAQ. Selling on the open. We bounced. We're positive by 9 points. The Dow in the red by about 0.2% off 84 points at 46,000. And the Russell off by 12. And yeah, you know, some areas, and what's remarkable is, right? So this house, and I'll show you, folks, where this is. So this is the house I just showed you, 2230 Trelane Drive South, is by Lake Major. Beautiful area down here, and you can see this little street, okay, Trelane. And look at how this street was carved out. And yeah, I'm selling this property, okay? I'm pumping it out, but check it out. I mean, this street in the 1920s had to be the freaking creme de la creme, folks, okay? Beautiful mansions, and there's a few actually for sale right now, and a couple others that need some TLC just went under contract. Okay, you had one go under contract for $275. That's a full reno. So the street's, you know, picking up. But look at how it just meanders. All these streets are basically, you know, square grids, right? And they just kind of carve this street out of an open area. Now, and you make a great point, Duffy. Some areas, man, you would have this house. selling for 2.1. Folks, there's areas in St. Pete that this is selling for 2.1. Now, what I was showing you recently, if you were listening to the program, okay, this is a little bit south. You're on 22nd Ave south about. And if you recall, when I was talking about the program recently, okay, when you get up to, let me find it. This is the area what I was in. Now, here's the house I was just showing you, down here, okay, 22nd Ave. Only blocks away was the area where I was just showing you houses, folks, where you're getting houses selling for 1.4, right? You're getting houses selling for 1.399. It just went under contract in this area, okay? So that's how fast St. Pete is exploding, folks. And it's not even like San Francisco, 2.1. Oh, I believe it. But this house in certain areas of St. Pete itself, folks, and this area is going to get there too. It's going to get there as well. So check it out, 2230 Trelane Drive. Shoot me an email, folks, if you're looking for a beautiful Florida property. And I encourage you, if you're in the market at all, think about getting into the market right now. If you think rates are coming down, you can always refinance, right? The risk is wait until it comes down. You're competing with everybody else. S&P's flat. Basil Chapman's up next, folks. I'll see you this afternoon.